Alright, yes, thank you very much for staying with us once again and joining us on this channel, Sports 7GH. This is another day the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Bless His holy name. It's always a great pleasure to have you join us in this video. The African Cup of Nations has officially ended. Yes, Ivory Coast, they won the trophy, host and win. Fantastic and brilliant. They won their third African Cup of Nations trophy. Now, the last time, in fact, the first time they won was in 1992. So when Ghana won 4 trophies, okay, in 1982, Ivory Coast had none. When Ghana had 4 Afcon trophies, Ivory Coast had none. But right now, Ivory Coast have 3 African Cup of Nations trophies. Ghana is still at 4. That tells you how bad Ghana has been. Now, we are going to talk about some 5 key things Ghana should learn from some of the nations who performed very well at the African Cup of Nations. Ivory Coast, Nigeria, South Africa, and the rest. Okay, DR Congo and the rest. Some 5 key things we have to learn from them, so that going forward, so that in subsequent Afcons we can actually do very well and also try to achieve something for ourselves. Those things we are trying to learn from them. No, we were doing those things around 2015, 2010 when we were going to the semi-finals and finals of the African Cup of Nations. So we are going to talk about all of them. Do want to subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit the notification bell, and select or leave your thoughts and comments below in the comment section if you have any. It's always a great pleasure to have you join us. Simeon Adingra is a fantastic Ivorian, okay, who plays for Ivory Coast. He's just a young boy, less than 20 years old, less than 20 years. But he was part of the Ivorian national team. He was commanding a starting position, and he was showing how good and how quality he is. And look, if you take a look through Nigerian national team, through the Ivorian national team, South African national team, DR Congo, you see that young players were very much part of their success. Young and talented players were very much part of their success. Yes, you get experienced players to partner with young players. You get the oldies who have played for so many years to partner with the young players. But then you have to also have a young component in your team if you want to win the Afcon or do very well at the African Cup of Nations. And Simeon Adingra is the perfect example. Now, Black Stars, we went to the Afcon. We had somebody like Simeon Adingra, a winger, young, talented prospect in the shape of Ernest Nyama, who dazzles everybody when he has the ball. People call him the next Abedi Pele, the next this, the next that. Yet, we went to the African Cup of Nations and he could only play 28 minutes. 28 minutes. He could only play 28 minutes. That is our situation. We are fielding in oldies. We are fielding in experienced players who cannot deliver for us. But you go to the other teams and they are playing their very young, talented players who will deliver for them. And that is the situation. Ernest Nyama, okay, in some instances are highly rated or is highly rated than Simeon Adingra. But he was with the Black Stars team and he didn't get time. And you see, it's not like we were playing big teams. Oh. We play versus Egypt. We play versus Mozambique, Cape Verde. These are teams Ernest Nyama cannot compete against. It is never true. So if we talk about the Black Stars, you see that we have a problem. And I told you that these things I'm saying we should learn from, we were doing them in 2010 and 2015. 2010, Andre Dedayu was a very young player from the under-20 World Cup. I had won the under-20 with them, with the national team. That World Cup with the national team. He was promoted to the senior team as a young player. And 2020, he was 2010. He was promoted. Jordan Ayew was promoted. Jonathan Mensah was promoted. A chunk of the under 20 players who won the World Cup at the under 20. What? So Ghana, why do we have the key to unlock the Afcon this thing, but we don't want to use those keys? And we will continue, and you see that this is our problem. So that's the first one. The second one is commitment from the players. Commitment. Look at the Nigerian national team. Look at Victor Osimhen. Look at South African national team. Look at Ranwin Williams. Look at Tebo Mokoena. Look at Percy Tau. Look at the whole South African team. Look at the technical team of these teams. Look at how passionate, how committed they are to the cause of their team. Look at the technical team. Ahmed Musa on the bench, very fully effective in terms of helping the coach. Look at the coach of Ivory Coast, MFA, fantastic, passionate and committed to the cause. Do we see that from our players? Do we see that from our technical team? No, absolutely no. In the last 2 African Cup of Nations Ghana Blasters have gone, we are just so poor in terms of commitment. There is zero commitment to the cause. No commitment from the players. You don't see any commitment from the players. You don't see any dedication from the players. You don't see any we are going to die for the nation spirit from the players. Nothing. But look at the 4 teams who went to the semi-finals. Look at the quarter-finals team. Look at Angola. Look at Guinea-Bissau. Look at how committed they were to qualify to the next round. Even throughout their games, look at how committed they were. Ghana Black Stars players, no commitment again. No dedication again. And that is what we have to bring back. Go back again, 2010, 2015, 2012. Go back again in time. You will see that during those times, the Ayew was hugely committed and dedicated. In fact, the Ayew is still committed. But the rest of the players here, you really don't see anything. Look, go back in time, you will see Asamoah Gyan, full commitment, hugely committed. Even when he's sick, he will come and he will score. Yes, that is Asamoah Gyan, Baby Jet. Look at all the players. John Mensah, Stephen Appiah. You see real dedication in their eyes that they want to do something for the nation. But this time we are not seeing that. Gideon Mensah on Fahon, Jordan Ayew on Fahon. They don't care. Richard Ofori, you don't see any commitment from their faces or from them. That is the next thing. The other thing is that, do we appoint the right coaches for our national teams? Because look, in 2017, Hugo Broos won the Afcon with Cameroon. In 2019, Jamal Belmadi won it with Algeria. In 2021, Aliou Cisse won it for Senegal. And then in 2023, Afcon, MFA of Ivory Coast have won it for them. Now, in the last 3 Afcons, they are local coaches. But the 2 last in India, they are not proper local coaches. Because MFA, he was born in France. He has his coaching education, everything in France. But then was brought back to Ivory Coast to come and help them. Same as Jamal Belmadi was born in France and he came back to Algeria. But so the point is, I'm trying to make that, look, it's not about sending local coaches to the tournament. It's not about that. It is rather about sending quality coaches to the tournament. Because Cameroon won it in 2017 with Hugo Broos. And Hugo Broos is not from Africa. So you cannot come and say, oh, that means that we have to send, look, no, it's not like that. But then appoint the right competent coach. Appoint the right competent coach. And that will help you to win the trophy. Because if you look at MFA, he brought a lot of changes to the Ivorian team. He brought a lot of dedication and commitment to the Ivorian team. He gave respect to some senior players and helped them, all of them, to rally behind the cause of winning the Afcon. And that is what they did. So appoint the right coaches for that. You see, the thing is that you have the same players with a very bad coach and you think that the players are bad. But if you change the coach, just like Ivory Coast did, you see that, these players, they are very good. Oh, that is how it happens. So on the African continent, if you want to win the Afcon, Ghana Blasters, our next Blasters coach should be a very competent one as such. Again, I can take you back to 2010. I can take you back to 2015. Avram Grant, formerly of Chelsea Football Club, was our manager in 2015. He took us to the finals. 2012, I think it was that one. Okay, I've forgotten. But quality coaches, if you appoint them, they will do well for your national team. Then that is clear. Now, you can never win the African Cup of Nations without a solid defense and goalkeeper. Ghana Blasters, we didn't have that. And that is what we should learn from this particular African Cup of Nations. We went to the African Cup of Nations with a 3rd choice goalkeeper for Orlando Pirates. It is sickening. It is madness on the side of Ghana. A 3rd choice goalkeeper from Orlando Pirates. That is who we went to the African Cup of Nations with. If you do that, you get eliminated at a round of at the group stages. Look at the final 4 teams, the semi-finals teams. Look at their goalkeepers. Nigeria were carried throughout the tournament by Stanley Nwabali. Look at the goalkeeper of Ivory Coast. Look at Ronwin Williams, the best goalkeeper of the tournament for South Africa. If you have a quality and resolute defense, you are obviously going to do well at the African Cup of Nations, because the African Cup of Nations is a tournament that you can win with 1-0, 1-0, and in 2010 that's what we were doing. We were winning 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. Ghana Blasters, we went to the finals in 2010, Angola 2010. So it tells you that if you have a very solid defense, you are going far. And Egypt came to this Afcon conceding 2 goals. They went out on a round of 16. This Afcon, the Afcon is an unforgiving tournament. If you come and your defense and your goalkeeping is bad, you will not go far in this tournament. It is clear. If you have a solid defense and even your strikers are scoring fewer goals, you are going to qualify to the next round, or you are going to go far in the tournament. So the next AFCON we should go with a resolute goalkeeper and center backs or defenders. And that will help us. Gideon Mensah, Dennis Odoi, you don't really see top. Alexander Jiku, fantastic player. Salisu Mohammed, we don't really see top like that. So that is also another lesson for the senior national team. The biggest lesson is that all the nations are catching up with us. All the nations. If Nigeria had won, they would have gone 4 with the same as Ghana. Now, when we won our last African Cup of Nations, the 4th time, Nigeria had only 1. But then right now they have 3, and if they had won this one, they would have been on the same level with us. Ivory Coast, just like I told you in my intro, they've come to win 3 African Cup of Nations. Ghana, we are still stuck at 4. All the nations are catching up with us. Cameroon, they've overtaken us 5 trophies already. What is Ghana doing? What is our plan in terms of wanting to win the next 2 editions or 3 editions of the African Cup of Nations? The Afcon, we will not stop playing it. Even in 2025 January, we are going to Morocco for the Afcon. So we have to have a plan. What is our plan to win the next Afcon, or to win the next 2-3 Afcons that are coming in? That is a very, very important one we have to note. The Ghana Football Association and the Sports Ministry should start putting measures in place, because look, if the Blasters win now, it is the whole nation that is getting the look at Ivory Coast right now. Just look at Ivory Coast when they won the trophy. It is happiness after happiness, enjoyment after enjoyment. That is what we want to see in Ghana. Yeah, the ball now, because I had the trophy ni di actually solo ku 42 years ago, and we wanted to have it again. Thank you very much for staying with us and joining us. Leave your thoughts and comments below in the comment section. It's always a great pleasure to have you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.